This is the Dog and Pony Show on 88.9 FM High Desert Community Radio. Of course, Jessica Taylor's hanging out with me. And in the studio, finally, the gentleman of the half hour. We've got Nicholas Mezzanato and Madame Richard Tucker.
So excited.
Part-time gentleman.
Part-time, that's true.
I actually was like,
Yeah, I saw the look. Oops. So let's talk about what you guys are doing this Saturday. What are you guys doing this Saturday?
We are
having
an amazing show called Corina's Playhouse, and that's going to be at Volcanic this Saturday at 8 p.m.
Nice.
And it is it's through Comedy and a Cause, my comedy promotion company, that is going to be raising money for OUTCentralOregon. It's going to be half comedy and half drag performances, so it's just going to be this amazing fun party for positivity and raising money for a really amazing cause. And we're excited to have Madame Richard Tucker burning the house down.
Yeah. Madame Richard Tucker's there. It's going to be a good time.
Literally going to burn the house.
Yeah. You just ruined the big finish.
That was the finale.
Matches for everybody.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited to have a couple of my sisters, Calypsa and Stella Nova, performing with us as well, which will be super fun.
So on the drag front, it's, I would say 3 of some of the powerhouse queens. Calypsa, of course, is a stunt queen. So
And I still hate her for that.
I think we all, I think when anybody sees Calypsa jump off a stage
into like a cartwheel or a somersault or whatever, it's insane.
I have not seen this, and I feel depraved.
Like, on the one hand, you were cheering and clapping and, like, you were going crazy, but deep down, you hate her.
Wow.
So much.
Does your mom heart kind of get fearful a little bit?
Yes.
There's going to be some sort of...
This is the time she doesn't make it.
And I'm just watching it happen.
Right?
Yeah, every mom in the audience is clutching their chest. Like,
Don't do it, but please do it. I need excitement because I'm a mom.
And then on the comedy side of this, we have a couple of amazing award-winning comics coming in from Portland.
Yes,
nice.
Corina Lucas is coming in, and we did a show with her a couple of months back here in Bend, and she just completely blew the house up. It was pretty amazing. And then we also have Dylan Carlino and Noah Watson, who are pretty notable comics from Portland, and they're just hilarious. I mean, it's the first time we've done this type of format, but we figured it would fit really well with what we're doing, and everybody's so incredibly talented who's involved, and raising money for a great cause. It does really amazing things in the local community.
So let's talk about Out Central Oregon real quick. What is that for those who don't know?
They're a nonprofit their main goal is just creating space for the LGBTQ plus community and bringing people together in like a safe and welcoming environment. And they do a lot. And they're constantly like sponsoring other shows, like any Cult of Tuck shows that are happening. They're always like sponsoring them and helping me put them on, which is really, really awesome. And they also do like Winter Pride Fest. It'll be year 3 of Winter Pride Fest this year. And the second year of drag tubing. So if you want to see a bunch of drag queens and kings inner tubing down the mountain, you'll have to be up there.
How does a queen dress to go tubing?
I have this hideous, well, most of what I wear is hideous, but this especially.
But in the best way.
Yeah. Delightfully hideous. I have this old snowsuit from the 80s that is really gross and really cool. I love it. No, I didn't do heels. That would have been a problem. But
did it have the furry boot things like in Dumb and Dumber when they're coming?
I really, really wish it did now.
You had me at snowsuit from the 80s. That sounds amazing.
I feel like boots with the fur is a requirement at this point.
Apple bottom jeans. This feels like a song right now.
And with all your padding, do you need the inner tube?
You're not floating down on your chest, right?
I should try it without that. Get a little Pam, spray it on the side on the mountain.
Go full National Lampoon style, really fly through the air. When is that taking place?
Ooh, that is a great question. I believe it's going to be in the beginning of February. Okay. But I am not good at dates.
That's okay. After Christmas.
But go follow Out Central Oregon on all of the social medias, and you'll see a lot about it. We got a lot of fun stuff planned for it.
What about the Pride Winterfest? I'm surprised I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's like a whole weekend of things. Like there's a ride day up at the mountain, the same day as the drag tubing. We normally have a Hey Honey, which are these queer dance parties we throw.
Oh my gosh.
There's normally like an opening party as well, which is going to be Wigs on Ice. So everyone goes ice skating together.
Stop! Wigs on Ice?
It's a full weekend of events.
This sounds amazing. How did I not? I'm ashamed that I did not know this was a thing, but that sounds amazing.
It's so exciting to see all the events that are starting to get out there for our LGBT community here. And I feel like, and tell me if I'm wrong, but Out Central Oregon is kind of on the forefront of that.
They absolutely are. They're doing everything they can be, and it's making big moves for our community for sure.
That's awesome.
And do you think that helps? I mean, this is a silly question. I know the answer, but...
I mean, visibility is advocacy, and that's what we're trying to do. Be there, be out in Central Oregon. Hey, there's the name.
Looky what you did there.
That was real clever. But yeah, it's important to be seen. I grew up in a place where I didn't get to see anything of the sort, and knowing that kids here have that opportunity is really, really cool and really exciting, and gives me a lot of hope for our future.
I love it. I grew up in Northern California, Hateaway. But my mom started taking us to the Gay Pride Parade when I was like 8 and 9 years old, and threw us in it and said, go march and go see, and we were just exposed to it. And so when I started having my own kids here, I was like, how do I expose them to more human beings? Like, not just the people you see, but there are all types of humans. And now that there's more events happening, especially sometimes you guys do like all ages shows, which is awesome that, my kids can see that as well, and other kids can see that. I love that, especially for kids that are going through their own personal identity and things, and they don't have that support. And now there's like a community behind it. I'm just thrilled that there's so much happening.
Yeah, that's kind of why we wanted to do this show. A lot of what we do with Comedy to Cause is raising money for anything that creates community and gives people a sense of belonging.
I love that.
And, especially with the high rates of suicide in those kinds of worlds, I think that, we want to entertain, but we also want to create some sort of community where everybody feels that they're accepted and that they're part of something bigger than themselves. And so they've got, people that are in the same situation as they are, and so hopefully that's what will happen.
Yeah. I think when it's entertaining, it's easier for people to be themselves. It's not like a serious sit down, let's talk about your feelings type of deal. It's more fun, inclusive, and then you can just be you naturally. That's really neat. I'm stoked for you guys.
So it's really exciting to see the drag community and the comedy community starting to come together. Do you feel like that's a good kind of cross-pollination? Is it helping both the communities out? What do you think?
I think it really, really is. I think that a lot of the reasons people do drag are a lot of the same reasons people do comedy. A lot of times there's some sort of hurt or trauma or something that you're working through, and you're using your performance as a way to make yourself more accessible to others and share those experiences. And I also think that drag should never take itself too seriously. Yeah. It's, we are dressing up as these outrageous creatures, and it is outrageous. It's not too serious. Yeah. I'm sure we spend a lot of time and money doing it, but, we're here to have fun and entertain, and I think that there's a very similar thing in that, and, writing a stand-up bit, I think that it has a very similar purpose behind it.
I love how you phrase that. There's a vulnerability too, where you're exposing a part of yourself that maybe you've been suppressing for a while as well, and then others are like, oh, well, if they can do that, so can I. That's really, that's a nice inclusive way to put it.
You've had a chance to be in front of both audiences, Madame, at this point. Do you feel like the audiences are pretty similar, or is there a real difference between a comedy audience and a drag audience?
I was so nervous before hosting the first comedy show that I hosted. Oh, no. Because the audience, it is quite a bit different. They're not quite as outrageous and loud and, like, outwardly supportive. They're a little more critical, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Sometimes at my shows, I'm up there, like, saying just really dumb things, and everyone's, like, cracking up, and I'm like, guys, that wasn't top-notch stuff. That was some low-hanging fruit.
You're embarrassing yourselves.
And so, like, I recognize how dumb what I just said was. But I think that it's really fun with the comedy crew to, like, get a little bit different of a feel. Not that they haven't all been, like, warm and accepting and amazing. Like, I've had such a good time, and I love doing both. But I do think that they're different.
Do you think this show will bring, like, a combination of the two worlds together, audience-wise?
I really do. I think it's going to be, like, a really loud and crazy crew for, like, a comedy show, and I think that's going to be, like, really fun and really exciting.
Yeah.
So, how do people find out more information about this show this Saturday?
Well, you can check it out on Facebook, at the Volcanic Theater, Volcanic Theater Pub on Facebook. There's an event page called Corina's Playhouse, and you can get tickets at benticket.com. I would get them quickly, though. They're going fast.
Good.
This is filling up very, very quickly. But we'd love to have you, so make sure you grab your tickets and then come on out Saturday night.
And if people wanted to find out more information about OUTCentralOregon,
I would say they have OUTCentralOregon.com, and then also OUTCentralOregon on both Facebook and Instagram. They're constantly posting things. Facebook's really nice because they post all of their events on there, and so you can actually just go to their page and go through them all. And there's something for everyone as far as their events. So I would say it's like a really, really great tool for anyone you know and love who might be, questioning things or doing some things. Like, get them there. Let them know they have, like, community and that there's going to be, like, events that they can share with people.
So, as an artist, Madame, where do you get your inspiration?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Every comic just went, inspiration.
Yeah, that's a buzzword.
I get a lot of my inspiration from, like, comics and things like that. I always want everything I do to be very heartfelt, but I also want it to have a bit of humor in there as well. I want to, like, brighten people's days. So I get a lot of inspiration from comics and just anything that's, like, silly and dumb, and also just, like, self-depreciating humor. While it is not always great, sometimes it can be really healing. And when you're sharing that with people, and like you said, just, like, being vulnerable, like, there's a lot of strength in that. And so I really look to people who are just, like, real, very true to themselves.
Yeah. And I do agree. I think both art forms, comedy and drag, some of our, the best thing we bring to society is shining that bright light into dark corners and helping people either not feel alone or see themselves in, the entertainment that they're going to. I think it helps create bravery, and what you do is really helping Central Oregon get braver. As for you, Nicholas, I don't know.
Bring that brave game.
That's a t-shirt.
The way you just worded that was really interesting, though, that there is a fine line to walk between keeping it heartfelt and keeping humor in it. Because even as a comic, sometimes we'll be telling a joke or something, and it's like, okay, don't go too far, keep it light, but also what's the point? Why am I telling it in the first place? And I never thought of it in that perspective, but that's exactly how it feels, is you're trying to, just like a tightrope walk, you're really trying to not fall too far to one side. So it's interesting, because having never done drag, I didn't realize that that's also what you're trying to do. So that's kind of a neat way to look at it.
Absolutely.
So, where do you get your inspiration for your shows, Nicholas? Like, what is the thought process going from I want to have a show to, like, the concept for the show?
It's mostly just finding the most talented people that I can find and curating a show based on that. Right. Obviously, I'm always trying to raise money for some sort of charity that does real work. But it does come down to how good are these people? And these people that are involved in the show are really, really good. They're very good at what they do. And I'm excited to see it. I'm definitely excited to see it.
For sure. And you have a bit of an entertainment background yourself.
A little bit.
You've got a couple projects. A couple things going on. I know you were here last month-ish. Is there anything new on some of those fronts you want to talk about?
Not at the moment.
No.
We're still in negotiations with a couple of things, so I wouldn't be able to talk about that right now. I'm sorry to shut you down, but
No.
It's good. The wheels are in motion.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
There's things happening. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I think that's one of the exciting things that's happening in Central Oregon right now is you're seeing a lot of artists based here starting to branch out and get a little bigger. I think Bend used to be in a bubble, especially for performance arts.
Oh, yeah.
People didn't know the artists were here, and I think we've finally kind of broken that bubble open and shown the Northwest and maybe even the world that there is art here. And now it's just a matter of getting that art out to the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah.
I hear that, Ben. There is art here.
There is art.
Let it be
here.
known. There is art here.
Carina's Playhouse this Saturday at Volcanic Theater Pub. Find it on Facebook. Nicholas and Madame, thank you so much for hanging out today.
Of course.
Thank you.
And Jessica, my bestie.
Anytime, girl. Anytime.
You've been listening to The Dog and Pony Show on 88.9 FM High Desert Community Radio.
It's time to